Pastor Chuck Blair here. Great to have you joining me this morning for our 10 minutes of morning calm and a really sort of, very fun, inspiring message to share with you today. And we've been looking at Noah's Ark. If you're joining us for the first time, we're looking at it from a Christian New Church perspective, which is there's this beautiful sort of inner meaning to all these things, these poetic truth. And to look at that, we look at a biblical commentary by Emanuel Swedenborg, who in our denomination is similar to what Martin Luther would be to Lutherans, if you want a rough analogy there. So let's go ahead and get started. And yesterday we looked at the construction of the ark and God's commandment about how it should be built, and the idea that there was one window fastening. This window was just a cubit by cubit, which we mentioned is the distance from here to here. So, I was sort of playing around with it a little bit yesterday, just thinking literally it's a window about this big. Maybe even want to do that with your hands, very small window. And the idea is that that's our ability to understand. And when we're in a storm, our ability to understand is about this. It's not a whole lot, and we need to just acknowledge that it's tough to understand. It's tough to see the big picture. It's very tough to understand it all in those kind of situations, in those kind of scenarios. And that's not what God's asking of us to do. He's not asking us to fully understand it. He's just asking us to trust, just to sort of ride out the storm, do the best we can, next right thing, all those basic spiritual things that many of you have heard many times. And what's interesting here is that he says, what is it that we see through the window? Like what's being developed here? And he talks about faith, and it's a beautiful view of faith. And I find it just very inspiring and very much in line. The kind of thing, it's very aligned with Jesus's call. It's just different, more modern language, but it's clearly what Jesus is calling us to. Faith is decidedly not an acknowledgement of faith's tenets. That's interesting. So it's not just, I don't just say, well, these are the things that a church believes. It's not a knowledge of what should be believed. Such knowledge is mere book learning. And that's kind of interesting because today that's the theme, is beyond the books. Faith is acknowledgement. What is more, acknowledgement is impossible to anyone who lacks the most important element of faith, which is charity, that is love for others and mercy. That's really powerful. So this acknowledgement, this thing that we're starting to look out at that window and start to feel an acknowledgement of faith, sort of a trust that's starting to maybe seep into our heart or open up in our heart, whatever language you want to use. That faith is not about a list, again, of these are the 10 things this faith believes. And it's not that simple. It's not that not that mere book knowledge, as he would say. And again, I don't think it's saying that there's anything wrong with book knowledge. It's a starting point, but it's not where we end. And it's not where we really come to understand the world. To really come to understand the world, we really have to come from love and mercy. And mercy, just I could do a whole thing on that, but just think about that, folks. Like, to really understand, we have to come from love and mercy. And just think of the obvious contrasting opposites there. Imagine trying to really come into the biggest parts of your humanity, so you decide you're just going to read books for the rest of your life. Not going to work, right? It's nothing's going to happen. We have to move beyond the books, and that moving beyond the books, imagine instead we decide, hey, I'm really going to come from love and mercy in my life. That's where I'm going to come from. In times of storm, I'm going to come from love and mercy. That's powerful. That's far different. And you can see again why, it sort of dovetails in with yesterday, why we never fully understand the bad stuff. We never quite fully understand the why is this happening and what's the point. We never get those lists. I at least haven't found them. But what we can do is we can orient ourselves over here towards love and mercy, and trust that we'll be able to understand as best we can, which will be this by this. We'll be able to stand as best we can, but it will be from a place of love and mercy. That's far different. And people coming from that place, like, we know that. And those are the people we want to surround ourselves with. That this morning I got a wonderful little text message from Mary, who's probably watching as we're chatting away today. And she said, they had a small group last night, and we're trying to do a few more in person. We got a lot of online stuff. We're trying to do a few more in person things for those people in the Philadelphia area. And she said they had 13 people at their small group last night. And I think about that, those 13 people, and they probably learned more about faith in that group, and it would be the same if it was an online group, than just sitting around reading for a day. And isn't that interesting, right? Like we have to have this both in. I don't want to be disparaging of kind of knowledge and books and everything. I spend a lot of time reading. Today I'm going to spend a lot of time reading. And it also has to move towards this other part of humanity, this other part of seeking to understand, which always will come from love and mercy. And that's pretty fascinating. I mean, just think about that for a second. Like the best way to really understand life is to come at it, to try to see it out of a place of love and mercy. That, my friends, is spectacular theology. I think that's so much, and that's so much the very message that Jesus lived. So that's my thought for today, friends. I hope that makes a lot of sense. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little prayer, a little blessing, um, and then we'll say hi to folks on social media. I do want to say is if you are interested in signing up for an online small group, I'd be more than happy to have you. As part of that group will be starting a group tomorrow night, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As folks from all across the country. We have about 12 to 15 signed up, somewhere in there right now. And that's a nice, very nice size group, a little bit on the large side, but there's always room for one more. So if that interests you, please let us know. So with that, friends, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little meditation here, and you will hear construction in the background at the cabin next door. So just meditate your way through that. So with that, friends, let's get ourselves calmed. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little cheery hello to the folks who are joining us online. And again, I hope all of you are having a simply wonderful morning here. And all right, so let's take a look here. Say hello to folks. Susan writes, "Good morning, happy midweek. I know so many people would enjoy being nourished by your messages." Well, I'm glad. So and yeah, it's fun. It has been fun watching this audience grow over the years. Patricia, good morning to you, my friend. Marcus, good morning, and I hope you're doing well, buddy. Melissa writes, "Happy Wednesday. Thank you for the daily meditation. Understand through love and mercy." It is. It's kind of cool to just think about, Melissa, and the more we realize how radical that message is, and how it always gives us this agency. It's so hard to really understand things. I mean, at best, maybe this one person I was talking to was saying at best, maybe we come to fully understand maybe 10% of our loved ones. And I think that's probably about right, right? People are complicated. And yet what can we do? We can always come from this love and this mercy, which I think is powerful. Sherry, good morning to you, my friend down there in Tennessee. I hope you're doing well. And Marcia out there in Colorado. Good to see you joining us this morning, Marcia, as well. All right, friends. Well, I'm wishing you all the best. I hope you have a great day beyond the books. Take care. Bye-bye.